Milkshake Minute. Happy Thanksgiving from Dairy Free You. We're coming to you today with a recipe that hopefully it'll become a favorite of yours. We've tried a couple of different kinds of this. This is a pumpkin pie, but it's without dairy milk in it. So usually you put in a can of evaporated milk. We're going to change that. Plus, we're going to change the sugar in it. Instead of putting in 3/4 cup of refined sugar or granulated sugar, we're going to use something different. So that's going to change the way that your pumpkin pies are made. And then there is our milk. We're going to go ahead and put in about 350 milliliters, and that is, like I say, that is a thickened milk, and that's what we will use as our evaporated, the evaporated milk of the almond milk. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put together the spices. We've got our milk, our condensed milk, which it is thicker. You will notice that. And to make normally, and you would use what, 3/4 cup of just regular sugar. What we're going to do is we're going to replace that with dates. And I have 15 small, the smaller date, the Delgate Nord date. And these, I've got 15 of those, and we're going to go ahead, and I've already pitted them, so we're going to go ahead and just throw those right in, and that'll be part of, we'll use that as the sugar content. The good thing about using dates is that also puts a lot of fiber into it. All right, and then we're gonna put in what will be just it'll be a half of a teaspoon of salt, and I take my let's see, hang on a second here. We'll just I use sea salt, but you can use whatever salt. And so I'll take and I'll put in about a half of a teaspoon of salt in there, and okay, and then we're going to use a half of a teaspoon of nutmeg. We've just got a new bottle here of nutmeg, which I think I'm going to go ahead and so there's a half of a teaspoon of nutmeg, ground nutmeg. We're going to use half a teaspoon of cloves, and there, my wife's not big on cloves. I love them. And we're going to use 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, so we'll make that a rounded teaspoon there, and that'll be our cinnamon. Okay, and then I'll also use a half a teaspoon of, usually you can use ground ginger, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in, I like for the fiber effect of it, I'm going to put in fresh ginger, and I'm going to put in just 2 little slices of that, which gives us about our half. So that gives us our spices plus the main sugar content that we're going to be using there. And then what I'm going to use as a syrup for this is I'm going to use, now yesterday I made a pie, and I used glycerin. Use the glycerin as a sweetener. Now, one thing about glycerin, it does not have, it doesn't show up on the glycemic index, and it's counted as carbohydrates. So, but you can't use a lot of it either at the same time. So today, what I'm going to be using is I'm going to be using agave syrup. All right, so we're gonna use that, which some people like using, some people don't like using. And I usually measure with my big syringe here, and I'm just putting in 60 milliliters of that. So that'll give me all right, and that gives us, okay, I'm going to go ahead and mix all this together. Okay, now what I've done is I've got that pretty much ground up pretty fine. And so this is actually what is going to be doing all the sweetening of everything. And I'm going to go ahead and add my milk to this mixture here so that I can grind this even finer, mix it up real fine. Okay, we're back, and what I've done here, this is fresh pumpkin. The other day somebody brought us a pumpkin for Halloween, and of course here they don't really celebrate Halloween. Well, they do. There's getting more and more, but the pumpkin that they brought was huge, and I'll show you a picture here. But anyway, it was my objective to cut, clean, and cook the pumpkin. It took me about 5 hours to do it, which gave us approximately 35 cups worth of pumpkin. So we got probably 17 pumpkin pies that we can make. And so now that I've got this mixture put together, I will go ahead and add my pumpkin to it, and I'll blend this together. We have our sugar-free, milk-free pumpkin filling, and the only thing that we need to add to that is 3 small eggs or 2 large eggs. Mix it all together, put it in your pie crust, put it in your oven, in a preheated oven for 450 degrees for about 10 minutes, and then drop the heat to 350 degrees for about 40 minutes, or until you can stick a toothpick in the middle just like you would any pumpkin pie. And there you have a dairy-free, sugar-free pumpkin pie. Sugar, when I say sugar, it's the refined sugar. It's free from that for our Thanksgiving, and I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.